Welcome to the Purposely Aligned Entrepreneur Podcast presented by Boss Girl Creative. This is episode number 490. Today, I'm talking about creating community through your social media. Now let's dive in. Hey, I'm Taylor Bradford, host of the Purposely Aligned Entrepreneur Podcast presented by Boss Girl Creative. I help small business owners turn their purpose into a paycheck, and it starts with visibility. In the online world, visibility equates to sales. So if you're dreaming of being the next $1 million entrepreneur, you've come to the right place because weekly I share visibility tips, brand advice, and business resources. So grab a notebook, your favorite pen, and a beverage, and let's do the work. Hello, welcome to episode number 490. I'm your host, Taylor Bradford. We are talking about creating community through our social media. And real quick, is this thing on? Sometimes that's what I feel like. When we work so hard at doing the things that we're doing and then we share it out on social media and then we hear crickets. And it's like, this is so frustrating. But today I'm talking about creating community through social media and how you can do that and how you can inspire others to take action in the things that you're doing so that you can create community through your social media and through your website and your email list and all of those things, because you are the one that can actually do that. Community building starts with you. So I'm going to be sharing ways to grow your community. And trust me, you don't need to go at business alone. That is why community is so incredibly important. Before we dive in to the nitty-gritty of this episode, let's find out what's been going on in the land of social media. Social media headline number 1, Meta is developing a search engine to power its AI chatbot. Reports indicate the company wants to reduce its reliance on search data for Microsoft's Bing and Google at a time when all three are battling for AI supremacy. Social media headline number 2, TikTok expands STEM feed to all users in the US, UK, and Ireland. TikTok's looking to expand its role in science education by opening up this feed to all users. And TikTok originally launched its STEM feed to U.S. users aged 18 and under in March last year before expanding it to European audiences in April of 2024. As per TikTok, whether it inspires people to pursue unexpected STEM careers, brings together aspiring engineers to work out formulas in comment sections, or helps a new programmer learn new code, the STEM feed provides a space for co-learning, inspiration, and enrichment. So rather than just teens, TikTok now wants to get more people involved in its science content, which could generate more interest and attention for its educational-focused content. Social media headline number 3, TikTok establishes a new deal with United Masters to promote independent musicians. The new partnership will help promote United Masters artists within its app. Social media headline number 4, Instagram experiments with Reels performance tips in Stream. The notes explain why a Reel is performing well. Not sure if this is helpful or annoying, but Instagram is currently experimenting with this, which explains why a clip is performing well in the app. The new notes provide contextual insight as to the most impactful elements of each specific reel. And finally, Instagram downgrades video quality for less viewed clips. Now this is interesting. In his weekly Q&A on IG Stories last week, Instagram boss noted that the quality of video for stories and reels posts can be reduced or increased at different times based on the engagement that each video receives. In response to a question about some older stories looking blurry, he explained that, in general, we want to show the highest quality video we can when someone is watching a story or reel. But if something isn't watched for a long time because the vast majority of views are in the beginning, after initial posting, we will move to a lower quality video, and then if it's watched again a lot, then we'll re-render the higher quality video. He also notes that if someone is accessing a video on a slow internet connection, the app will serve them a lower quality video so that it loads more quickly. And that wraps up this week's social media headlines. Hi, I'm Taylor Bradford. I've built multiple 6- and 7-figure businesses in the last 10 years with specialty event rentals, roofing and construction, and rental property. I have a top 1% podcast in all of the podcasts that you are currently listening to. I did over 7 figures in sales last year in my specialty event rental business and over 7 figures in sales in my roofing and construction business last year. Whoa. Wait, what? Don't turn this podcast off, please. But seriously, who does that? Why would anyone lead off with that kind of elevator pitch? Because honestly, that's what we are doing on social media. We are leading with a hardcore sales pitch instead of a handshake. So let's start over, shall we? I'm Taylor Bradford. I can sing row, row, row your boat forward and then backward. I call it my party trick. And yes, I can for real do it, so here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream, is but a life. Merrily, 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 streaming down gently, boat your row, row, row. Yep, learned that my senior year of high school. It was a challenge from my choir director, and I will be able to forever be able to sing that. I am an active workaholic. I now want to spend endless amounts of time at my farm and in my garden. I've been married for 18 years, together for 21. We have no kids by choice. I lost my mom to non-smoker's lung cancer when I was 24. She was 53. I lost my brother to an accidental overdose when I was 30. He was 26. I've lost so many friends as an adult, crushing losses through different seasons of life, and when I reflect on it, it makes me think it's me that's the problem, that I'm too much or have way too high of expectations. I can remember the last crushing loss of my best friend of over 5 years. I was on a road trip with my mother-in-law. We were shopping. We were actually antiquing on a garage sale place down in South Texas. It was called 90 on 90, 90 miles of stuff. And I was scrolling Instagram that night and stopped on a story seeing my friends, my friend group, celebrating one of our friends' birthdays in Dallas. And they were having a pool day, a rooftop pool day. And that was like a punch to the gut because that was the day I realized, or the night that I realized I had truly lost my friend group. And I cried myself to sleep that night. And that one's been really hard to recover from. My husband and I, we work all the time. Like I said, I'm an active workaholic. We probably work 7 days a week for the most part. We have started spending a few weeks every single year in the summer in Colorado for an escape of the Texas heat, but also to recharge our batteries, because we do realize as we've gotten older that we just can't go that hard all the time. I struggle with keeping up with my Boss Girl Creative social media and email newsletters. I struggle with doing that for Sugar Creek, the email newsletter part. I have an assistant now that handles the social media aspect for that account. I feel like I'm winning at my personal account, which is at Taylor L. Bradford if you want to follow. I truly do desire to work from a place of rest and not stress, even working as much as we do. And nothing truly lights me up more than showing others they can be successful. Most of the time, I do feel like I'm a fraud. I also feel like I'm not good enough a lot of the times. It truly bothers me when I hear people say, "Oh gosh, Taylor, I don't know how you do it all." Because it means they've put me up against a wall, or they've labeled me, or they've put me on this pedestal. And it's a separation between me and them. And it makes me feel like I'm not approachable or relatable. I do these things because I just do them. I am who I am because I just am. I choose because it's important or a necessity. Because we all have the same 24 hours in the day. I just choose differently. Okay, if you're still with me, let's get into this episode. So how do we foster true community? Like I said at the start, it does start with us. It starts with you creating the community. Finding a community and friends as an adult can feel like you're dating. Does she notice me? Does she like me? Does she even know if I'm alive? And it can feel absolutely isolating. I totally feel this. I feel like I have a fangirl crush on Sharon McMahon. Her Instagram is at Sharon Says So. I feel all of these things related to her. Does she notice me? Does she like me? I've been a longtime book club member, and she's just such a cool human being. So here's what I want you to do. Think of 3 to 5 people who you absolutely love to follow online, but that you don't actually know them in real life, even though you might feel like you do know them. You know the ones when you say, oh, this girl, Taylor, I know she's in Colorado for a few weeks with her husband. They just built a barndominium hangar house, and Taylor's garden is her happy place. Things like that. Like when you think of somebody that you absolutely love following online and you can have a dialogue with somebody else, with that person not standing there because you feel like you know them, those are the 3 to 5 people I want you to write down. So write down those people's names and leave space between each of them for your notes. That's next step. So think about those people. Write down a few facts about them that you know just by following them online. Here are some question prompts to get you going. Are they in a relationship? Do they have pets? Where do they live? What do they do? Bonus points if you don't actually include their occupation. What kinds of things do they share that you remember when you think of them? I want you to hit pause if you're doing this exercise, or we can just keep going. Next, I want you to open up your Instagram. For real, hit pause and come back. But don't get distracted. I want you to look at the last 5 posts on your account, whether it's your personal account or your business account, either one. If your work people that follow your business account also follow your personal account, then it's going to make sense for you to look at both of these. But if you just have a business account on Instagram or a creator account on Instagram, that's what I want you to focus on. What could people learn about you from those last 5 posts? Are there things people would remember? Is it stuff beyond your title and your work? So tell me, what would I see if I could only gauge it for myself from your last 5 posts? What are you saying in your captions? How am I getting to know you? How am I feeling connected to you? What have you shared in those last 5 posts that would have me talking like I know who you are? When we first talk about community, it's easy to assume that I'm going to tell you to go attend a meetup, get out and network, show up at a conference, or spend an hour a day commenting on other people's Instagram posts. I mean, yeah, that's cool and all, but that's really not how we create community around our businesses. It's not how we get to the heart of community, because the conversation starts with you. So what are 5 things that make you, you, that have absolutely nothing to do with your title or your business? What would your best friend tell me to explain who you are? What kind of things would they share about your relationship, your pets, your hobbies, your travels, where you live, your family, your favorite music, your favorite movie, your favorite food, your home? What would they share with me to explain to me who you are? Now, what I want you to do is hit pause, come over to my Instagram at Boss Girl Creative, hit DM, hit message, and tell me, what are 5 things that make you, you, that have absolutely nothing to do with your title or your business? Community has to start with connection. And if we are too busy blending in an already saturated industry, hiding behind our work, we are leaving price as our only differentiator. Whoa, what? Yes. If we are blending in, if we are in a saturated market, we are allowing people to use price to be the differentiator. The truth is, most of us are just trying to look like everyone else within our industry, which is opening the door for price to be a thing. Literally, I just answered the phone right before hitting play on recording this episode, and I had submitted a proposal to a planner friend for an event that's coming up that I had to sign an NDA for. And she's like, hey, so I would really like to swing this money your direction, but the person looking at your proposal is only seeing your stuff and would prefer to spend this kind of money over with the other competing company. And I said to her, listen, if she doesn't get who I am and what I bring to the table, then she does need to just send her money that direction, because I'm not changing what it is that I do and who I do it for. Like, I am already bringing in so much for what it is that I have proposed. There's not anything more that I can do, and my price is my price. So the fact that I am now competing on price against a competitor who does not do the things that I do, like I just said, listen, you're just going to have to go with the other person. I can't be that. I'm not them. I am me. So that's the reality. When people don't get who you are, when they haven't had the opportunity to learn who you are behind the scenes, they go right to price. But here's the reality, and it's a really cool one, because connection often comes in having just one thing in common. And from there, a relationship can grow. So whether that's where you live, where you travel to, your love for animals, a cheesy carb, your go-to beverage, or the fact that you work with your spouse or your significant other, having that one common denominator can create something more memorable than just a title. And if I had had the opportunity to build a relationship with the actual client instead of being a go-between between my friend and the client, I would have had the capacity to start that conversation and start that relationship. As it stands, I'm just a commodity and a price. So when it comes to community, here are 3 rules. Number 1, give first. What can you do for somebody? What can you do for someone? What can I do for you? Far too often, our biggest influencers, or the people that we desire to work with the most, are being bombarded by people who are asking them to do things for them. I'd love to grab coffee with you. Would you share this cause on your social media? People are always asking something from them, but true community comes when you come at it from an act of serving. What can I do for you? I think Sharon McMahon does this really well. She puts a question box almost daily that says, what can I do for you? She is definitely leading from a place of serving. So how can you lead from a place of serving? I have this gift I would love to offer you. I have this way of serving that I would love to offer you. Come at it from a place of serving, of how you can help them instead of the other way around, asking for them to help you. Rule number 2, choose your influencers wisely. You cannot and should not take on a million mentors. It will give you so much information overload. One person is saying do it this way. One person is saying it doing that way. You need to cultivate the people that you want to learn from and you want to be inspired by, and make that a really short list. Choose who you are letting influence your life and your business wisely. Rule number 3, ask for help. We all need help, but a lot of us really struggle asking for help. I'm raising my hand over here. I struggle with asking for help all the time. I am going to make an ask right now in this podcast episode. If you are currently listening through Apple Podcasts, I'm going to encourage you to listen through a different podcast listening service. I don't care which one it is, but please consider listening through a different app, because Apple is literally killing my podcast. with their phone updates. An easy place for me to send you to listen to my show, where you get to pick which app is your preference. Go to bossgirlcreative.com/listen. That is going to take you over to another website that is associated to my show that gives you a laundry list of places where you can listen to my show. Apple is on there, but I would really love it if you would start listening somewhere else. And then wherever that somewhere else is, if you would kindly follow, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, wherever you are listening to podcasts, if you would go do that with whatever it is within that listening app, whether it's a follow or a subscribed, if you can leave a review, I'm kindly asking for help in like switching gears with how people listen to my show, because when I say that Apple has killed my show, they really have. Their last iOS update just tanked how my OG listeners were listening and how it was handling my show. Okay, so rule number 3, ask for help. We all need it. And when you remove the veil, you can truly grow community. So let's fill in the gaps from the first exercise, your social media. It has to be the introduction. Like when people find you on social, you're saying, hi, hello, I am Taylor. It's the handshake. It's not the hard sell. At the beginning, when I was giving you that ugly elevator pitch, I was leading with the hard sell, not the handshake. I screamed, nanny, nanny, boo, boo, I'm the best, hire me, choose me, work with me, instead of saying, hi, this is me. And if you think we might be a good fit, let's continue the conversation. You have to do the work to create community. It falls on you. So let's continue the exercise. Walk me through the steps it would take for someone to hear your name all the way through to booking you or hiring you. Example, hey, I heard you're getting married. You should really hire this girl. Her name is Taylor Bradford and her company is Sugar Creek Event Rentals, although she just likes to call it Sugar Creek. So what are the steps that it's going to take for somebody hearing my name for the first time all the way through to booking me, signing the contract, and getting the retainer? Maybe they'll start on Instagram and then they'll click to my website and then they will browse my inventory. And if they like what they see, maybe they will fill out a wish list or create a wish list or fill out my inquiry form. And then once I get that, whether it's the wish list or the inquiry form, based on their answers, I will send back an automated email that allows them to book a consultation with me, whether it's on the phone or in person for a warehouse consult. Then we'll meet, I'll create their proposal after the meeting, and then they agree to the proposal, I'll draft the contract and send it their way. Write out the process from start to finish for your clients and how they find you. And how long does that process take from start to finish? Like time-wise in days, but also like even hours or weeks. Then I want you to think about, what does your bio page say on your website? It's the most clicked on page on a website, by the way. People expect the cliched parts to a bio page. I mean, don't we all? I think that's a given. But I want you to share things that create an actual connection. Example, you say that you love pumpkin spice lattes on your About page, but when I go out to your social media, I never see you drinking a PSL. I never see you mention a PSL again, but you said on your About page that you loved them. If that is a thing for you, it needs to be infused in your messaging, in your posting efforts, in your day-to-day life through stories. It needs to be a fingerprint of your brand. So I'm going to encourage you to share more about what doesn't make you basic. And I mean that in a loving way. Share more about you that's not basic, but is memorable. So what are your top 5 aspects of your life? And I want you to consider forming your brand around those things, like making sure you are infusing those things in your brand. They can include your work, but I encourage you to also include things that aren't work focused. So where you live, your pets, your family, your favorite food, whatever that looks like for you. And it can be a rotating bunch of things, but that they are infused often within your marketing efforts. For me, on any given week, it can change, but it's my husband, our multiple businesses, this podcast, our farm, my garden, our love of Colorado. I include these things so when someone hears me, they think of these things. Now, I will say that I have separated out my businesses in a way that they are focused more on the thing that I sell than me and the behind the scenes. And I've been struggling with Boss Girl for this exact reason. It's too much for me. And to manage both profiles, like Sugar Creek is really good. It's a standalone thing, and I've got an assistant working on it. I would love, it's a conversation that we are actually going to have today after recording this episode, because I would love to infuse more of our behind the scenes and the things that we enjoy doing and what really kind of makes Sugar Creek be Sugar Creek, like the fingerprints of Sugar Creek, the heartbeat of Sugar Creek. But I'm totally failing at doing this with Boss Girl, and I'm really considering leaving it up because I have said so many times, go to Boss Girl Creative, follow me there, DM me there. I even said it in this episode. But I'm like really struggling with managing both. So I don't know. I'm on the fence on, do I keep it or do I just say, hey, come follow me over on my personal Instagram at Taylor L. Bradford and just kind of fuse all the things, but I don't know. It's its own legs. Maybe I could get my assistant to work on it more. I constantly question things. So if you're feeling that, I'm feeling that too, and we are in the same boat. But going back to those aspects, those 5 aspects, even if it's a rotating list that's more than 5, if you genuinely love those things, they should be part of your life online. Your clients already know they need someone that has your service or your product. That's already determined. Like, especially like in the wedding world, they know they need a venue. Why do they need your venue? They know they need a photographer. Why do they need you as their photographer? Because that's why they found you in the first place, because they already determined they needed that thing that you offer. But if we want to attract our dream clients and brands, we have to share more than just our work within our emails, through our websites, and our blog posts, on our social media. So it does come back down to, who are you speaking to? If you know who that is, if you know who your ideal client is, and if you don't, I have a really great book that will help you figure it out. It's workbook style, and you can grab it by going to bossgirlcreative.com/pillars book, pillars with an S, book, and it will help you walk through who your ideal client is. So if you know who that is, you can focus on serving them. But if you're feeling anxiety around this because you feel like you are just basic, and a lot of days I do feel basic, like a lot of days, I'm like, I have nothing to offer people. I have no children. I have no animals. I now have a farm and a garden I spend a lot of time in. If you're feeling anxiety around this because you feel that you're basic, trust me, we are not basic anything. We have to accept that inside. Maybe noodle on that for a while. We have to accept that we aren't basic. You need not to feel extraordinary in order to create connection. You just need to show up and share what's important to you. What lights you up? What are your favorite things? One of my favorite authors, Lucy Score, has a love of tacos and Taco Bell. Not both at the same time. She has a deep, deep, deep love of tacos. And I am telling you, she infuses this love in a lot of ways. I see her talking about it on social media. I see her talking about it in her Facebook group. I see it in her newsletters. I see it in her books. Everyone knows Lucy Score loves tacos if you are a fan of Lucy Score. That is the connection point that I'm talking about. You need not to feel extraordinary in order to create connection. Maybe you just need to love tacos as much as Lucy Score does. And trust me when I say no one wants to sit with the perfect girl at lunch. We want to sit with people that remind us that we are human. So I want you to share enough that creates that connection. So how are you doing that when you are sharing your work? Open up your Instagram again. Go straight to the very last caption you wrote. What did you share? What did you say? And moving forward, I want you to frame how you create conversation through your captions, through your email newsletters, through your blog posts, through wherever you're posting. Frame it in these 3 ways. Why does this matter? Am I doing this thing justice? And will this cause action from my ideal customer? Will someone actually take action from this? When you infuse storytelling into your business, people become impacted by you. They fall in love with you. They support you. They scream your name from the mountaintops. They get on a podcast and talk about your love of tacos. Now, you may set up some parameters for yourself. When Instagram first came around, there was no Instagram stories. Like, we just had posting, right? And I would encourage you when you're posting to not do so in real time. Like, I've said this in a previous episode, I want you to consider like creating the content and then walking away from it, put it in draft mode, and then share it later when you've had time to noodle on it. And you can frame it back to those 3 things. Why does this matter? Am I doing this justice? And will this cause action? Also, I want you to think about when you're posting, is the work you're sharing what people can expect from you if they actually hire you? Are you like sharing the cream of the crop of your work at all times? And then finally, focus on serving your community well by creating connection. What I don't want you to do is go out trying to attract all the humans and forgetting the people that are already following you. Like, let's think about a dinner party and you invite your followers to your dinner party. What I don't want you to do is run down the street inviting more people. I want you to focus on those that are already following you, because that's where community is created. So here's your homework. I got a couple different homeworks for you. So quite a bit of homework already in this episode, but here's some more homework for you. When you find someone you love on social media, reach out to them, tell them, encourage them, comment on the things that they are posting, send them an email, let them know what you love about them, send them some encouragement. And in doing this, you are focused on serving them. What can I do for you? And I promise you that will open up way more doors than you saying, can I come on your podcast? Hey, Taylor, I've got a really great guest for your show. Can you schedule that person on your show? I promise you, serving the other way will, it's like that flies and honey and vinegar analogy. You will attract a lot more flies with honey than you will vinegar. So, it's kind of a thing. Second homework is about me searching for you. Can I find you in your feed? Do I see pictures of you living your life beyond your work besides your bio photo? Would I know what you look like if you walked into a coffee shop in my town? Would I actually engage with you and understand and know whose voice I was listening to if I looked at your posts? Like, could I hear you speaking to me? Are you living your life beyond your work? Are you using your bio to tell me more about who you are without hiding behind your title, without shouting out your sales message like I did at the beginning of this show? Are you sharing something that would attract or repel or connect me to you? Are you sharing work that would attract your dream clients and not just your peers? Are you actually thinking about what keeps your clients up at night and crafting messages and connection that tells them that you are the right person for them? Are you encouraging other people? I think that that's the biggest one. At the end of the day, who are you encouraging? Are you encouraging others? Take the time to engage with people, to encourage them, to reach out to them, to support them, to say, what can I do for you? not what can you do for me. So if this podcast has touched you or changed your life or helped your business, I would absolutely appreciate, I'm asking again, I'd absolutely appreciate more than you will ever know if you would rate, review, subscribe, follow within the podcast listening app of your choice. And I promise you, it does truly mean so much that you did hit play on today's episode and that you have hit play on previous episodes. It does truly matter, and I so appreciate you, and I would love to know more about you. So I'm not kidding when I say hit pause, come say hello, hit pause, come answer these things. I do want to hear from you, so I hope that you will take the time to do that for me. Until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Hey, real quick before I go, I wanted to pop back in and say again, thank you so much for listening to this latest episode of the Purposely Aligned Entrepreneur Podcast. I would so love a favor from you right now. Would you please share this episode with a friend or share it to your social media and tag me at Boss Girl Creative? Oh my gosh, that would mean so much to me if you did that right now. Okay, I'll see you next week with a brand new episode.